Hello everyone, good day to you all. I am out at a beautiful beach that I decided to go camping last night and it was gorgeous, so apologize for my unbrushed teeth, but that's okay, totally worth it. So first of all, I just want to show you where I'm at. Oh no, I cannot flip the screen, I don't think. But I can make my face look funky and brighter, I guess. Dun 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 dun. This is my reality right now, which is just gorgeous. So, I just had a very intense, I think I'm going to stay this way. There we go. Well, the sun's behind me. That's okay, whatever. I just had a very intense morning with my inner child. I've been doing a lot of reparenting the inner child, and I don't know, some people call it, what do they call it? The shadow work is what people call it. And really it all began with a conversation that I had with a woman, and she said, you know what your problem is? You know what you need to do? Stop letting your inner child run your life, and instead teach that inner child, like, parent your inner child. Stop allowing your inner child to parent you. And I was like, that's really interesting. She had a lot of force behind what she was saying, so I obviously felt like that was something I needed to take in, and it was. And that was about 4 days ago, and my life has just completely shifted, completely, in the way that I see so much, even with healings and not that everything shifted internally. It was my relationship to self that shifted. And when things come up for me, when triggers come up, when, situations, people, bring up emotions, everything has shifted because I've changed the dialogue. I've changed the narrative, the story, to that of working with my inner child to learn about my personas. And I'll do videos that go into a little bit more depth, but that was just kind of the background of this morning. And I had a very, very beautiful coming together with my little inner child. We had a lot of back and forth dialogue, which was beautiful, and I learned so much about my patterns and behaviors that I have right now, and kind of the root of a lot of those. And then so I get a lot of feedback, I guess, through music, and I generally either music, lyrics will pop into my head, or sometimes just quotes will pop into my head, and in that moment it's like, oh, okay, that bridges what I'm feeling right now, or it's more of kind of the synchronicities, and that is a lot of communication that works for me. And all morning I had that Justin Bieber song, Sorry, stuck in my head, and I was like, what is happening? And I was like thinking about all of everything outside of me that it could be attached to and connected to, and it was like, no, it's internal. And I was like, does this have to do with my relationship to self? Because I was like, there has to be, like, all morning I was like, oh, I'm so sorry that I wasn't there to parent you earlier and like see all of this earlier. And there's also like, I forgive you, I forgive all this stuff, but it didn't feel like that was the spark. So then I was like, whatever, that Justin Bieber song was like, sorry. And to me, I'm like, it takes two, like, it's okay, it's fine, and all this stuff. Like, I'm sorry, forgive me, I forgive you. And so then I turned on this song because it was nonstop in my head. And I was like, obviously there's something that I'm missing. And so I turned the song on and I just start feeling like this, like dancing in my body. And I was like, okay. And then I was listening, I was too serious, right? Like I was listening to all of the lyrics to it, like, okay, well, there's something in there. And really, like, my inner child, I listened to it 4 times. No, I think it was 5 times actually. And like by the second time I turned it on, because I was like, I'm not done with this song yet for whatever reason. Then I just seen my inner child just start dancing. And then I was like watching, and then I was still trying to like tell her why it was okay. You know, it's okay. I'm sorry. But then she was just like, just stop and let me dance. Like, just watch me dance. You know, this is for you. It doesn't matter what the lyrics are in the song. It doesn't matter what song it is. I just want to say I'm sorry. And I just want to dance. And like, this is for you. Like, just bask in it. Enjoy it. So then I just started to watch, and then like all these different versions of myself jumped in, and it was like this huge, just beautiful dance full of so much love. And it was just really fun. So then I was like, I need to listen to this one more time. So then it was like, I started to dance for my inner child and like all those other versions of myself. And it was just like we had this massive bonding moment. And it was like, okay, we are going to move forward with an entirely different relationship, and your life is like going to completely shift, right? Because when we shift all of that heaviness inside of us, then our whole world shift. And so as I've been walking back to my tent, I just stopped, and there's an area that's just so beautiful. It's low tide right now, and so it's like a super low tide right now. So all the critters that live in the tidal pools are out, and it's just so beautiful. And I was thinking about, what does it mean to act to deeply forgive, right? Because it's not about forgiving everything around us and like what's ever happened to us like that. I've never felt such a profound shift in what it means to forgive. And it felt piercing, like it felt unfamiliar. It felt slightly uncomfortable, right? Because like my mind immediately started to, and like the personas, right, come up to immediately start to point fingers and like think about everything that made us be a certain way, and all the scenarios that kept trying to pop up and are still continuing as I'm making this video, trying to pop up to justify. And when you forgive, it's letting go of all of that. So of course it's going to be uncomfortable, because all of those things that we ever gave meaning to are trying to hold on, because that was familiar, that was safe for us, because it was familiar, right? So whenever we're putting ourselves in a new state of being, it may feel uncomfortable, and it's almost easier to jump back into those old patterns, because they are trying to fight for themselves to stay a part of your reality. So they're going to come back like even stronger than they do in a normal state, in a normal day for you, right? Those limiting beliefs, the programming that doesn't serve us, holding on to those old relationships that just bring a lot of pain and suffering, right? We kind of keep ourselves in those states because we don't understand the internal, what's actually going on. And I wasn't familiar with the inner child as deeply until I had that forceful interaction, and it really made me think, like, what am I not seeing? And I opened myself up to just, I couldn't even make this stuff up, really, you know. And I'm gonna go into deeper detail in terms of some of the meditations that I've created for myself, that I was kind of just led down to more deeply understand what was happening and what was going on. But ultimately, what I want to talk about right now is when we are putting ourselves in a state of change and shift and allowing ourselves to grow, sometimes, and I would say oftentimes, when that shift is really deeply taking place, it's going to bring to your reality uncharted territory. And it may feel uncomfortable, and it may be a little scary, and you may experience those overwhelming programmings that no longer serve us, like incredibly heightened. But what's so important is to remember that it's so heightened because you are allowing yourself to let it go. And it doesn't want to let go. It's your safety. It's what feels comfortable. It's your normal. But just remember where you are going. It's so important to remember where you're going and to trust that all of that is being brought to the surface to be let go of. So bask in the discomfort because it's only temporary, and get excited. Like, I was feeling like it felt like pins and needles to think about forgiveness. And it's like, wow, what do I get to forgive? Like, everything in my life, I'm so excited to forgive it all and really bask in the growth and who I've become and who I'm becoming and moving into. Like, it felt like pins and needles. It felt really uncomfortable. But I knew that was because I've never fully let myself forgive. And I don't know what it feels like. I don't know what it feels like to live a life full, like truly forgiving, and just allowing myself to not try to control everything to keep me safe. I don't know what it means to just let go. So as I'm discovering and I'm learning what that means for me, what that looks like for me, and this is specific to everybody. So it's learning what works for you, learning your communication system with your body, with yourself, with your inner child. So anytime you feel discomfort, or if you're going through this growing stage and like everything that is old programming that you wanted to get rid of is just coming back 10 times, just know and remind yourself that it's doing that because you are growing, because you're shooting through your ceiling and you're creating a new normal for yourself, and you are in uncharted territory, and that's so beautiful and exciting. And please give yourself grace and love and understanding. It's not going to be perfect. It's not going to look perfect. It may look messy, and you might swing all the way to the opposite end of a pendulum. And, just give yourself grace for whatever comes through and however you show up. I mean, the most important thing is that you're learning from everything, like everything that's coming through, however you react and respond, and just love yourself, accept yourself where you're at, because you're not going to be in this point forever. You're just keep focused and know that you are growing, and just allow whatever's coming up to come up. And I promise that it's going to be really good. This is the transition state, and you're in the meat of it all. You're in the mix. You're in the tossed salad, like you're being tossed right now, right? And that's what life is. It's just a continuation of that. But when we get through kind of those really rooted things that keep us weighed down, right? The foundation that creates a lot of those programmings and things and patterns that don't serve us anymore. When we're getting rid of those, it could be pretty tough sometimes. So give yourself grace. Know that you have a beautiful community in the world. There's so many people out there waiting to just love and be around you and learn your story and hear everything about you. So remember that. Love yourself. I love you so much, and we're all going through it together, and there's no wrong way to do it. Everyone has their own way, and I'm so excited to get more into detail about my stuff. And I feel like everything that I've learned to share with you all is just to put into your toolkit. And I am so excited to learn what you guys are learning about yourself and then sharing that, right? So then maybe I can implement it and learn more about myself. So really it's this give and take, this beautiful bridged community in the world. And there's so much to be learned, so much to be shared, and all the love to you. So I love you from my home to yours. Have a wonderful, beautiful, blessed